093 or go to buynutriblade.com.
Coming up on First at 4, some people are still trapped from flooding earlier this month. And we'll have the latest on the double murder trial involving Alex Murdaugh.
Plus, showers remain gusty through this evening, but nicer weather's on the way too. Breaking it all down coming up as First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Strong winds are moving across our region right now, and we could see some downed limbs and isolated power outages. Our First Alert Weather Day continues as meteorologist Evan Hatter continues to monitor the situation. Evan.
Well, yes, Steve, that's right. We continue to see very gusty winds out there at this point. In fact, a look outside, or at least a look from our day so far, we have seen some gustier winds the further west that you go. 43 in the max gust at Somerset so far, 36 Prestonsburg, 37 the max gust in London. It's been higher to our west, 56 miles per hour has been the main gust in Lexington. And it says 54 there, but we've seen some reports of wind gusts above 60 miles per hour in Louisville. That's where the high wind warning is in effect. We're under the wind advisory until, for most, 10 o'clock tonight. For some, could run until about midnight or 1 a.m. as we head into tonight. Wind gusts continue to be the heaviest out to our west. 33 mile per hour gusts, Somerset, Monticello, 36 in London, 24 mile per hour gusts here in Hazard. Temperatures are warm, where we've seen a few more showers and clouds. Big Sandy, Kentucky River Valley in the middle and upper 60s and low 70s further to the south and west. We're still under the level 1 marginal risk for severe weather tonight, but the main threat continues to scoot on to the east, and we'll continue to watch it move out of the region. It's almost clear, at least the heaviest showers of our southwest Virginia counties now. Watching maybe some development up toward I-64 near Moorhead. It's something we'll watch. The main action has been all across central Ohio through the day, central Indiana and central Ohio. That's where it'll stay close to that low pressure. So for tonight, we'll slowly dry out. We'll slowly calm those breezes down as well, but they'll still be breezy for part of the night. Lows middle and upper 40s. And just checking power outages, we don't have too many, a couple hundred in some spots, but otherwise no big power outages throughout the mountains so far, and hopefully it stays that way. Steve?
Yes, we do. Thank you very much, Evan. Well, some eastern Kentuckians are still trapped from flooding earlier this month. A bridge connecting Little Doty Branch in Knott County was washed away, leaving around 25 folks stranded. Carl Sloan, who's one of those people, says they are using the railroad as a path to get out.
Side by side, I rode my brother-in-law side by side, and we had to go down the railroad track, and that's about 3/4 of a mile or something.
Sloan also says between last July's flood and the recent high water, the community has been stranded for a combined 30 days. We'll have more on this coming up at 6. People in the Dorton and Jenkins communities woke up with concerns this morning after a high-speed chase brought several agencies out into those areas overnight. Captured in this footage from Bethany Triplett, it is part of the chase that began in Jenkins and made its way through Pike County before becoming a foot pursuit near Dorton School. Jenkins Police Chief James Stevens says 30-year-old Jared Ratliff got away from officers after an attempted traffic stop in Jenkins, putting many officers and others in danger.
Thank God our officer last night, although he's new and a young man, he did an excellent job staying back far enough that he didn't cause him to wreck, cause the suspect to wreck, just kept him in view. I think everybody there did the correct thing. We did leave the scene with him still at large.
And Ratliff has not been located at last check since the foot chase in Dorton. If you see him, you're asked to contact law enforcement. Police say he is armed with a knife and has an extensive criminal history. We'll have more on that coming up at 6. The defense team for disgraced South Carolina lawyer Alex Murdaugh is moving closer to resting its case in his double murder trial. Murdaugh has pleaded not guilty to the June 2021 killings of his wife and adult son. CBS's Nikki Batiste reports from the courthouse in Walterboro, South Carolina.
The judge in the Alex Murdaugh double murder trial granted the defense's request to let the jury visit the South Carolina home where the disgraced lawyer's wife and son were killed.
It would be useful for the jury to visit Moselle, both the area in the area of the kennels and the house, just to get some understanding of spatial relationships.
Prosecutors unsuccessfully argued against the visit because it looks different 20 months after the murders.
The trees that were planted that separate the kennels and the house are markedly taller and thicker than they were on June the 7th.
I do.
Also Monday, the defense called multiple witnesses, including a crime scene reconstruction expert who cast doubt on the prosecution's case.
My opinion is the totality of the evidence is more suggestive of a two-shooter scenario.
At times during the testimony, Alec Murdaugh wiped away tears. Last week, he took the stand in his own defense, where he denied killing his wife and son.
I would hurt myself before I would hurt one of them.
But he did admit lying to investigators about being at the crime scene shortly before the murders.
Everything about me not going to the kennel was a lie.
Closing arguments in the case are expected this week. Nikki Batiste, CBS News, Walterboro, South Carolina.
It's not clear when jurors will visit the home, but it will be before they begin deliberations. On Friday, Murdaugh was charged with a misdemeanor after court adjourned. The reason remains unclear. A man is charged in Massachusetts for a cold case murder thanks to DNA, a GPS tracker, and a sweet potato. 40-year-old DeVaris Hampton was charged Monday, 12 years to the day after Todd Lampley was found shot to death in 2011. The lead that resulted in Hampton's arrest was a phone tied to the name Marlo Stanfield, a fictional character in an HBO series, The Wire. In the show, a sweet potato had been used as a silencer, and investigators had found a sweet potato at the scene of Lampley's murder. Authorities say it had Hampton's DNA on it. Prosecutors say they can place Hampton at the home at the time of the murder because of data from a GPS monitor he was wearing due to a previous crime. They say GPS tracking also puts him at a pond where a gun was later recovered. Hampton is being held without bail. He has a court date set for April 5th. Health officials back here in Kentucky say a person in Jessamine County has a confirmed case of the measles that's linked to the revival at Asbury University. That case has taken health officials by surprise. Now they're keeping an eye on any potential spread of this highly infectious disease. Jeremy Tom spoke to Baptist Health's chief medical officer.
Asbury University's revival services moved off campus last week after more than 2 weeks of continuous prayer. But before that could happen, measles made its way into the crowded Central Kentucky event on February 18th.
I've seen some of the videos from the revival, and it's kind of it was pretty full, a lot of close interactions.
Asbury requires its students to receive the 2-dose MMR vaccine, but with tens of thousands descending on the small town of Wilmore during those days, Dr. Lee Dossett says it's a cause for concern.
You have people coming in from across the state, from across the country, and so anybody that was there that day, or really any of the days, because it could potentially be spreading after that, we would check your vaccination status.
CDC data shows the measles vaccine is about 97% effective if you've received 2 doses, yet only about 86.5% of kindergarten-age Kentucky children have received it. That's below the national average of over 93%.
Or a lower vaccination rate does put everybody at risk, just because you don't have that herd immunity that protects everybody.
Dossett hopes this case can serve as a wake-up call for Kentucky's parents.
I've, to my knowledge, never seen a measles case in my career. The measles can make you pretty miserable. That's why it's so important. It's why we stress vaccines, is because it matters to people's everyday lives.
Jeremy Tom, WKYT.
The university released a statement Friday. It cited CDC recommendations saying that any unvaccinated individuals who were there on the 18th should quarantine for 21 days. Coming up on First at 4, park rangers have a new tool to protect some of the world's most endangered animals.
Plus, more showers on the way before things finally start to settle down tomorrow. Details after this.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking stories as they happen, customized to the categories you choose.